Good afternoon. We are at the Dahagam property. We're going to be completing a repairability test. We'll be on this left slope, which is north. We have this damaged shingle here. We'll do our repair test on that one. That's the one with the X, and then I'll give you an overview of all of those surrounding shingles, all of which could potentially be damaged. I'll give you another overview once we're all finished and show you all those results. For my tools, I'll be using a hammer, flat bar, putty knife, and roof snake. Show all of these shingles, these tabs still sealed before we get started. We'll get started by unsealing this top row with the putty knife. And I'll use the flat bar to unseal the rest of those shingles. Look at any differences in those tools. Now we'll start removing these nails. Should be all the nails. So to simulate a repair, since this is just a repairability test, we'll slide this damaged shingle out, and we'll go and slide it back in, and all of the same motions, manipulating the shingles the same way you would for an actual repair, so that should give us the most accurate results. Got that back in place. We'll start getting some nails back in there. We'll be using the roof snake for that. but we're all complete with the repairability test. Give you another overview of all of those surrounding shingles. I'll give you a close-up of these tabs just above. You can see some changes to the condition of those shingles, those tabs. See, it looks like a little bit of a stress fracture right there. You can see some small changes to the outside of those tabs, but the real bad damages, it looks like it's going to be underneath with all of the mat transfer. You can see real bad mat transfer, just huge chunks of matting that came off the bottom of that tab right there. You can see all of that exposed fiberglass due to the mat transfer. See that there. Some more real bad mat transfer all along there. And that mat transfer, that's going to be damaging the integrity of those shingles, as we can see chunks of matting that were taken from the bottom of those shingles. So that's going to be a lot of damage to the integrity of the shingle. And then it's also going to be leaving all of those areas with all of that exposed fiberglass showing through there. More mat transfer. More exposed fiberglass. You can see quite a bit of mat transfer along these lower shingles as well, along with the exposed fiberglass. We got tons of mat transfer, and we can see mat transfer along each one of these tabs as well as these, both the upper and lower shingles, which we use the putty knife to unseal this top shingle here, and we use a flat bar to unseal these ones. And we can see a lot of mat transfer along both of those rows of shingles. So either tool that's going to be used, looks like it's going to be impossible to get around that mat transfer. Like I said before, that mat transfer is going to be damaging the integrity of the shingle, and then it's also going to make it extremely difficult for these shingles to reseal properly. You can see where all that matting transfer stuck onto the top of that shingle. You can see that's covering up the tar line, so those shingles will not be able to reseal properly. So with those damages, we can see we have an additional 1, 2, 3 at least damaged shingles just from repairing one of these wind damaged shingles, leaving their roof in a condition where there's more damaged shingles from repairing this one, and those are going to be potential leak hazards due to those damages with all of that matting transfer. So if repairs are made to this roof, then this insured will have matting transfer and potential leak hazards in any of those areas where repairs are needing to be made. And I do not believe that that would be indemnification, leaving them with more damaged shingles than they previously had, pre-loss and everything. So with that being said, I do not believe the roof is repairable, and I'll go and chalk up all those damages and get some better pictures of those. Thank you for your time.